So
Sam,
we barely talked. We like literally were like started to talk, and it was like we got to start the pod now because we have important issues to discuss.
I was already thinking about this today, and then you just brought up. So right now for you, it's almost 11 p.m.
Yes.
Right now,
Yeah.
and you just cracked open a fucking energy drink.
Yeah.
That's insane. And the reason I
mean,
was
like,
thinking about it today is because I've came up with a new. I love to, as everyone knows, I love to say awful things to make people feel bummed out and depressed and upset. It's kind of the reason I exist, is just sort of to generally bring the mood down.
And I have a comment to make on that, but I'm going to let you finish your point. But let's just make sure I get a chance to add to this.
Whether it's like general pessimism in a sincere way, or just like speaking in a way that makes you want to dunk your head in the toilet and flush, that's kind of why I exist. And one thing I love to do is torture my wife with different phrases for coffee, because coffee is really my go-to vice now. I love to call it Java, obviously, or sometimes I call it Coffee, which is good. But today I came up with bean tea.
I saw that today, yeah.
Which is like the most grotesque one I've ever thought of. And then people were talking to me about, their Java experiences and stuff. And then I got to thinking about, I've read these tweets go viral before that I think are just like so rude and so disrespectful, where people say like, oh, you can't drink coffee after 4 p.m. What are you, a little baby? And like, no, I'm not a little baby. I'm an adult man, I want to say right now.
Right.
But like, how, I just don't understand how some people are even capable. Like, how could it even be a joke that you can't drink coffee? Is supposed to be something that makes you awake. And even when I drink coffee at like 3, and probably also because I'm just like scrolling nonstop and my brain is mostly an algorithm at this point, but it never shuts off. I can't sleep. I mean, I can barely ever sleep to begin with, but then having a late afternoon coffee is already like a dance with the devil for me. So how are you doing this right now? It's crazy. I'm scared for you.
So, okay, before I answer that question, I did want to say that I think it's been very exciting to see Sarah sort of finding her voice and speaking out against you online lately.
It's a cry for help.
Yeah, like I did see your bean tea tweet today, which was great. I really enjoyed it. But I believe maybe a week ago, Sarah had a tweet that was kind of to the effect of like, I know you all think it's like funny when Josiah says, this rocks, or
Java was one of them. Yeah.
Java, but like, it's literally, this is my life. Like, please stop encouraging him. And I thought about the fact that like we have this sort of, our sort of relationship is distilled into these kind of 8 hours a week that we spend together. But yeah, that all of your peculiarities and foibles are like constantly in Sarah's face.
It's not something I'm turning on. When I press the button on my Yeti, I'm not turning on a character. I'm constantly this annoying, and my brain never stops, and it's producing nothing is the worst part.
Yeah, but like it does rock ass.
Yeah, just like bean tea.
Bean tea rocks ass.
So I think seeing it spelled out is really upsetting because there's so many EAs in there, but I also like it because it sounds like you're saying green tea.
Right, but then people are like, what? I'm sorry? Is that, I've heard the antioxidants are quite...
so yeah, we're calling it bean tea now, so to get some bean tea,
so everyone,
Java in you.
Yeah, it's not a hot bean injection anymore, it is, it's bean tea. So get with the times.
It's so close to what should be your bedtime at your
but
age.
I also know, like, this is a deep... So at my age...
that was the other thing we were going to talk about is... I think that you're way older than me.
Right? Yeah, we were talking. Like,
let's talk about that in a second. I want to understand.
Age.
You can are you going to actually? Are you going to be up all night? Are you like a secret gamer? Are you firing up the coolant fans on your PC to game all night?
After this, I'm working on learning how to floss because I love Fortnite and I want to be able to participate IRL with my gaming brothers and sisters in our celebratory dance. No, I could drink this energy drink, which is, by the way, a full size Monster Zero Ultra, which, as I was explaining it to you before we started recording, you were acting appalled, and I thought you were appalled because it was a Monster. Not because
you started doing this whole thing of like, oh, look, I know that normally you would be drinking a Red Bull. And I'm like, I don't know, but honestly, I can't drink Red Bull either. I've been to like Red Bull Music Academy things for work where there's just like free Red Bull all the time. And I love free stuff, but I felt so sick the whole weekend that I was there.
Because you were drinking Red Bull all weekend. You just hated it.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh my god, never again!" Like I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like there's fentanyl in there.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, look, like my favorite alcoholic drink was Original Flavor Four Loko, which caused people to die. It was so good. No, I could drink an energy drink. Like I could finish this energy drink, and like if we were done the pod, I could lay down and immediately fall asleep.
Are you the kind of person who can just like lay down and fall asleep too?
Yeah, totally.
Oh my god, I fucking hate you.
I have no worries, man.
I know, it's all that privilege.
Yeah, like I am so insulated from the worries of the workaday world that like nothing phases me.
So let's I forget how this came up, but first of all, I'm never friends with people my own age for some reason. My whole life I've only been friends with people younger than me or older than me. I've very rarely, I think it's because I always hated everyone at school. I always had like one friend in each grade or whatever. So I've just always like become friends with people of a different age. So the fact that we're the same age basically and getting pretty damn close to being friends is really weird.
We're teetering on the edge of friendship for sure.
So that was weird to me. But then I was in my mind, I don't remember where this came from, but in my mind, oh, I know why. Because it's your fucking birthday, bro. In like a week.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's true. And there will be an episode celebrating it. The anniversary.
Yeah, you get a
my
birthday app.
It's very exciting. You don't. We did the math on this, actually.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of math lately. A lot of pod math for some reason.
It's true. It's because we're both going away at different times, and this is going to be the last good episode of this podcast for about a month. I think people need to prepare themselves, maybe get into another podcast, because we're about to do a month's worth of podcasts in like 2 days.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Like the last podcast is going to be like, it will be the last podcast.
I checked to make sure that I didn't fuck up my gain because usually I do that right before we do a batch episode.
Right. Every episode
like, fuck it all up.
Has so much mouth.
No, but for some reason
wetness.
I thought that you were like probably 4 years older than me. I think it's just because of like your career that I envision and just sort of your like socioeconomic status compared to me, where I'm just sort of sitting in a pile of my own filth.
Which is funny
and sometimes
because that's
thinking about going to the bottle depot to buy groceries.
Right. But that's also like primarily a projection of like memes related to this podcast. Like you've been to my house. It's like
really nice.
It's nice, but I think you live in a nicer place than I do.
Yeah, but I live in a much worse city. That's the other thing.
Right.
Like I live in a horrible city, so I'm living a life of luxury because I haven't made the jump to a better city. Mm-hmm. Whereas you live in one of the most expensive cities, and your home is not disgusting. So it's like, damn, this guy must be doing well.
Wow. Yeah, you can't like literally
money bags.
You can't see the rats. You can just hear them because they are in the walls and the ceilings.
Yeah, and I guess just like you said, oh, is it because I'm going to a dinner all the time? And I thought, yeah, that makes him seem older.
Right.
Like
just because I'm a dick.
I'm still at the age where like the second that work time ends, even though I like my job and I'm usually having fun, I'm like, well, quitting time. I'm never speaking to these people outside of work because they're not paying me for it. Like I'm still that sort of 17-year-old at the pizza shop brain. Whereas you're sort of like thinking, you're like strategic and smart.
No, I like the idea that you have pizza shop brain and I have like late capitalism brain, which is not something to want for at all.
I don't know. I mean, you must think that I seem younger than you.
No, I don't think that.
Really?
I recently had a meeting where someone who was...
I mean, even that sentence alone is like...
Right.
You're so much more advanced in this life than me. What is this meeting you speak of?
The reason you don't have meetings is because you like don't even live in the same city as the company you work for.
That's true.
So your meetings are like you and Woody just like hashing it out. I had a meeting with a guy who's like 50. and like in his 50s. And towards the end of the meeting, we were talking about some music thing, and like I made a reference to obviously being like from different generations or whatever. And like I think for people who just listen to this podcast and don't necessarily engage with it on socials and maybe haven't like seen what Josiah and I look like, we're not like hideous beings, and I would say we both pretty much look our age. Like we both have like hair. We dress like normally, you know. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Do you have any gray?
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm going insanely gray.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. It's like I don't have any gray at all. I still have like little boy hair, but I do have like deep crow's feet by my eyes.
Right.
I need to start using oil of Olay.
Little boy hair. So, but the point is, at the end of this meeting, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, so what are you like, 43, 44?" And I was like, "Jesus Christ!" Like, not there's anything wrong with those ages, but that's literally a full decade older than I am. Like, that's a significant leap. I don't have children. Like, I don't have, I think, the face or body of a man who has been worn down by. That's a serious decade that he's talking about coming up.
Well, the other thing is, like, people in their 40s look good now. Like, they don't look old anymore.
That's true. That is a credit to the 40-year-olds of our time.
People don't age. Actually, there is, and I'm going to say this before the intro because I would like to brag that I have actually read another book, to be quite honest with you.
Wow. Why didn't we lead with this?
I've been lying this whole time. I have read about 5 books in my adult life. And I can't remember what it's called, to be honest. But
I can hear you Googling.
Albert Brooks, the comedian who I absolutely love and think everyone should watch all of his movies. He's an absolute comedic genius. And he wrote this book a few years ago called 2030. Came out in 2011. I just couldn't remember what the year it was named after. But basically, this book is crazy. It's predicted everything that's going on right now. Like, in this book, old people never retire and they never age and they never die, and because of this there's all this generational resentment, and then like a terrorist cell forms of millennials and they're like bombing retirement homes and stuff.
DSA, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I recommend this book, 2030. It's very good. And also does my breath smell.
Who makes up all the rules about those girls I want?
I think it's important for me to note that I am drinking the energy drink because despite the fact that it is 11 o'clock, this is kind of like a deep cut, which is the sort of song where I think, oh, this will be a manageable episode. But I know I'm going to be up until 1 a.m. The pod's going to come out late because we're doing this on Thursday. Like, I mean... This pod is going to come out the middle of Christmas Day in Australia. It's going to screw up everyone's...
Matty Rendell's not going to be able to open his this year's didgeridoo. They always print the year on the side of the didgeridoo, so you have to buy a new one every year.
Right. Planned obsolescence for didgeridoos.
There is something important I wanted to say. I forgot to say off the top because I was so perplexed and jealous of your ability to drink caffeine. I would fucking love to be pounding some bean tea right now. Are you kidding me?
You don't understand how jealous I am of you for like caffeine working. Like caffeine does nothing to me. It's like I'm a full on like the goggles, they do nothing. Like I drink 7 or 8 cups of coffee a day and then I have an energy drink and like I'm tired constantly. Is like your pipes not hooked up inside? Like is it just dripping out somewhere? You just have like a calf full of and basically like one of the spooky ghosts from The Frighteners, and every time I drink it just sort of falls out my gullet and onto the floor.
That makes me think of the Casper movie, which is very good in my opinion.
Yeah. Who plays Casper in that? It's one of the heartthrobs.
It's CGI.
Okay.
Is it Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Yeah, or it's like one of those boys.
One of those movies where like if you look it up, you're like, oh, all the producers were having a pedophile ring, probably. You know what I mean? Like I just don't want to Google it because it sounds like that era.
Yeah, then we'd have to like spend a lot of time like condemning pedophilia, like just to make it clear to people that we are against that particular. I mean, I don't think it's ever come up.
If caffeine doesn't work on you, then who knows what kind of shit's going on.
Just freaky shit it takes for me to feel something.
Anyways, before we get to the song, I don't want to stay off topic for too long.
No, God, no.
I forgot to mention off the top that this is the last week that you can do your free punk lyrics contribution.
Wow.
So
Oh, wow. This is a big week. So
the,
people got to get busy.
the deadline is the last day of this month, whatever this month is, February. What's the last day? Don't know. Don't really care. But next week will be March 1st. So for some reason, I've chosen this deadline because I need some structure in my mess of a life.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do it, freepunklyrics.tumblr.com, pick a song, make it into a song, email me the song, and then...
Don't DM it. Don't send it through Instagram DMs. This is
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
not the method that
not the
Josiah
preferred
prefers.
method, please. And then we're going to do a Kickstarter and not ever release it and make $100,000. So that's the goal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I want to fleece people. I want to prove our critics right and say, yeah, we are just stealing all this Patreon money.
Hell
So,
yeah.
Does My Breath Smell? The song by the band Blink-182. Josiah, how do you feel about this song?
Let's start with this, Sam. Does your breath smell?
I don't
I
think
wanna
so.
know.
But do you ever know? Like, do you ever know?
That's kind of what, and I'm going to spoil it right now that we're going to go way off topic in this episode. But
Damn.
as I was
What
researching,
a shocker.
I was like, God damn, how do you know? How do you ever know?
I guess you need a partner. I mean, hold on. Hey, Ashley.
Yeah?
Do I have, like, stinky breath?
You have stinky breath?
Does my breath smell?
No,
Oh, okay. So, yeah, like it never?
I don't think so. Why?
Because it's for the pod. It's important. It's research. Okay, yeah. So apparently my breath doesn't smell, which is pretty shocking given that I'm otherwise like an incredibly odorous dude.
Yeah, I don't smell very good very often.
Yeah, it's the one part of my body apparently that doesn't like emit a constant just like stink.
I definitely have some fucked up morning breath, but then I think I usually just smell like bean tea the rest of the time. to be
Yeah,
quite honest with
I
you.
guess that's it. Like if you're constantly sort of pushing that bean tea back behind your molars, like that's going to kind of mask everything. It's like deodorant.
But I also think I probably used to smell like cigs a lot.
Oh yeah, what was your cig habit like?
Well, it was basically like it started on tour as a larf. We're like, let's buy cigarettes, that'd be funny. And then like we're like, oh shit, we're all deeply addicted to smoking now.
That's the most like Josiah ass addiction story imaginable.
Yeah. We're like, damn, what if we just bought some American spirits? It'll be so funny to just have these, and they're healthy too, so it's fine. It's like good for
totally.
you.
The spirit of America is healthy. That's just a fact. So
Right, that's
I
why
can
it's
see
named
why
that.
you made that connection.
Yeah, so then that happened, and then I was like pretty casual for a while. But then when I got a job at Fast Forward, Mark, friend of the pod, Mark was also a smoker back then, and he was like a real smoker. And while he was training me in those 2 days, I would like try to keep up with his smoke breaks and just go home like so nauseous and like pale from having like 12 cigarettes in a day.
Yeah.
But then sort of I kind of balanced out to like probably like 4 in a day.
Okay, yeah, so you
4 or
probably weren't
5.
that stinky.
I think it still lingers though. Like that's what I'm saying. But you just like you achieve this level of the base smell that you don't notice it. But I'm sure that like my in-laws would have noticed or something. You know what I mean? Like probably.
Yeah,
But you always
totally.
think that like I have friends who are always like trying to cover up the weed smell when they're coming to visit or whatever. Not for me, but like when I was a kid for my parents or whatever, they'd be like, they'd think that they were getting away with something that they were very clearly not getting away with.
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
no one ever gets away with anything, right?
Yeah, so I think this has made me paranoid about my breath, but luckily I don't ever interact with any human beings, so it's fine.
Right, that's because as established, it's literally just you and Woody just grinding out every workday. So
Yeah.
and I bet Woody's breath probably fucking stinks, right?
Yeah, it kind of does, but in a cute way.
Aw.
Because he does this thing where he pushes his nose into me because I'm the only person he likes. So he'll like push his nose into my face and drool on it. That's what cats do. And so I smell his breath a lot, but it's cute. I'm
Does
into
Woody
it.
not like Sarah?
No, he hates her.
Is it because like she like takes you away from him kind of thing? Is
No,
it
it's
like an
because
attention thing?
she loves him and wants to cuddle him, and because of that, he's like, "Fuck this." But I sort of nag him, and that's been the vibe. And also, I've worked from home his whole life, so I'm his mother
okay.
basically.
That's great.
But yeah, I don't know. Like,
But
it's weird.
so generally,
Brett-
your breath doesn't smell. I think
But,
because
do you-
you've been
like,
married for
because
so
you-
long, Sarah would
Yeah.
have told you. She would have told you.
And she does, for sure. Like, if it's in the morning, she'll be like, "Oh, you should probably brush your teeth." And I'm also not usually a morning brusher. Is anyone?
What?
I'm not.
You're not
It's
a
all
morning
fucked up.
brusher?
But, like, do you brush your teeth and then go have coffee after?
I brush my teeth,
grotesque.
and like maybe an hour later, I have coffee.
Oh, because you're like, oh my god, you're so old. Like you get up and you have enough time for all that shit.
No, because I like brush my teeth, and then I like maybe I go to the gym, and then by the time I get to work and I have coffee, it's been like enough time that the coffee tastes fine.
I don't know. I mean, I'm late for work every day, despite working from home.
Yeah, just like, and also working in a different time zone. Like you start
I
work
work
at like
in the easier
noon.
time zone. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm still late. Yeah, I don't know. But do you carry like I still do think that you're at least 10 years older than me. Do you have Altoids with you or something?
No, I don't carry mints around, but previously at other jobs, I would keep like a small container of mouthwash like at my desk.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That is
so-
like, did you read that in like a business book?
No, it's just like if you got to go out after work, I just mostly like don't like going out feeling like fully dayed. So like put on some deodorant, mouthwash, and you feel a little fresher for like going out for say a dinner.
I very often forget to look in the mirror before I leave the house and then go out with like so much food in my teeth. Like constantly. And Sarah will always be like, can you please just look in the mirror before we go out? Like just take a glance in the mirror.
The idea that you're like against morning brushing is sort of up there with not washing your hair for a year, in my mind anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, but I do floss. So I think that makes up for it.
See, I don't floss.
Yeah. Well,
I know
anyways,
I should, but
we'll never
riveting fucking
truly
program.
know if our breath smells. However,
No.
this song, I don't really care about it, but it's pretty good.
You know what? Like I found is when we were kind of debating like what we should do this weekend as part of this upcoming gauntlet. And it's like, okay, we need to do like some Buddha, some Cheshi. We got to like knock out some of the stuff that like we're maybe a little less familiar with. It's like deeper cuts from the real punk back catalog. And so I think you proposed like 4 songs and just pick one. And I was like, this one because it's got a funny title. And honestly, I thought you'd do a better intro.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of saying that you have like an assistant that helps you with all of your daily tasks because you're such a businessman, and there's like a guy who does your suit, and there's a guy who does I don't know, he chews your food for you, and then there's a guy who does your breaths. Mel is his name.
Okay, yeah.
That was the best I could do, and I was like, no, that's too bad, so I'm not going to say that on the pod. So I didn't say it on the pod.
It's for the best. I'm glad you kept that one to yourself. This is a song that I like forgot that I loved. Like it took like me like listening to this right before we started talking to be like, oh shit, like this song is good. This is one of the Cheshi songs that like I really, for some reason that I actually like kind of can't really defend or explain today. Like this song kind of jumped out at me, and I remember like I didn't spend a lot of time with Cheshire Cat, but this song was on like a bunch of mix CDs and stuff that I made back in the day. And so like it to me feels like at least a little bit more in line with the Blink that became like Dude Ranch Blink, and I think it's insanely sick.
Am I extremely stupid and losing all grasp on reality, or did we just recently do a song with very similar structure that starts with like a palm muting thing and then gets big and fast?
Yeah. We literally just did that. I can't remember. It was like 1 episode ago, and we were like, "It's cool how like like I'm literally gonna have to Google."
Right, I was like,
Blink
because I remember
155 podcast.
it must have been
I think it was
Toasted
like
Bananas.
last week. It was Toasted Bananas. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I remember saying, every punk band had one of these songs, and
Right. We're doing them
Just
2
like-
weeks apart.
it's the worst project ever.
Imagine how mad if you were one of the people that started this exact podcast like a year before we did, and then we showed up being like, no one's ever done this before, and you were like, these guys are such dicks. They're like, well, I might as well listen to an episode. And you're like, they don't even know anything about the band.
Like, truly nothing.
And we have sucked up all of the oxygen in the Blink-182 podcast
Yeah, the
space.
funny thing is that it's like really, really stupid to make this project and devote this much time to it, but
Yeah.
it's even dumber to like actively listen to it. So it's
Yeah.
really on you for the listener.
It's
for,
true. This is quite damning for people that are not us. I think
we
to
wouldn't have
participate in-
stopped probably, but we probably would have just done like a begrudging 20 minutes every week to get this over and done with.
It's true. I can't imagine a world, in which we kind of gave up on it. But I can imagine a world in which my initial vision for it, which was much more succinct, is the reality. So
Instead, we've spoken about it for 30 seconds, the song this week.
we talked so much about our flossing. This explains why my sister has recently started listening to the podcast again, and it's like she always says it like in this way where she's just like, "I'm fucking listening to your stupid." Like she's so mad at me about it, like that I've caused it to exist in the world, and her as like a kind and supporting person like feels some compulsion to engage with it. So that's good. But this song is also good. So the Palm Beauty and stuff at the beginning is like, I don't care about it. I kind of forget that it exists.
Well, there's one thing I want to say about it. Actually, there's quite a few things I want to say about it.
Yeah, there's no
before we
there's
get
one-
into the next
You've
part.
never met a thing that you wanted to say one thing about.
That's true.
It's never happened in your life.
And that's the other thing that makes me ashamed to have this podcast is that I do realize I'm just a mediocre white man who wants to say his opinions about everything as much
Yeah.
as possible and as loudly as possible.
Yeah.
And I found my counterpart.
It's
We
true.
found each
I'm
other.
like, oh shit, man, you want to talk about oral hygiene into a microphone? I'm with it.
In a sea of mediocre 33-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I found you.
Yeah, I am the most mediocre and the most 33.
Oh no, I was gonna ask. Now I've got another question to sidetrack us. When you are nearing the end of the age, is that the most you are of that age?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I think at that point you've come to embody those characteristics, like the most.
I think you're the most that you are that age at your half birthday. To be honest,
Well, I guess are we speaking literally or are we speaking philosophically? And I think it's sort of science versus art is what we're talking about here. You know, like. Sure, like, you know, Dr. Josiah, like, yeah, technically that's it. But as a deep philosophical thinker, I think, yes, it's the moment before the clock strikes 12.
here's the thing I want to say about the start of the song, and keep in mind this is Blink-182's one song that has sort of a quiet, palm-muted start and then gets big and loud. And that's,
every
this is the
band-
one time they did it.
Every band has one. This is it.
And I also would like to add that I'm not sick anymore, but I am addicted to cough candies, and they're sitting on my desk. So I'm eating a cough candy, which people
You
don't
have a
say
certain type
cough
of
candy.
personality, eh?
Yeah, just awful.
Yeah. I was thinking addictive, but yeah, bad is definitely more
Yeah,
appropriate.
addictive, definitely. Oh man, I would love a cig right now. Okay, what I wanted to say was this does belong to a class of music where there's sort of a background party scene at the start. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like that. It reminds me of like the Sweater Song, for example, and perhaps other songs that would also fit this example if I had done my research.
I Won't Be
But,
Home
you
for
know.
Christmas, another classic Blink jam, begins with the sort of sounds of a joyful holiday party.
I meant to check if anyone had isolated it or figured out
What they're saying?
what they're saying, and I just Googled, what are they saying at the start of Does My Breath Smell? And the top result is, the combination of the bacteria and decaying food in your mouth produces an unpleasant odor.
Yeah, this is going to be the whole podcast, isn't it?
More on that later.
Put it in that.
But yeah, that's kind of cool that they, like, and we're talking about the Cheshi version, of course, so,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, I remember thinking, like, when I first heard the Sweater Song as, like, a kid that had basically never been to a party that wasn't, like, a laser tag birthday party.
Which, like, let's be honest, those are the only good parties.
Yeah, like everything has been downhill since then. But like, it's kind of funny when you think about the fact that like actually probably most of the people that like get really into these records and these bands are like not going to parties. Like, you know, you're mostly, if you're Weezer or if you're Blink, like you're making music for children. And,
At least pre-Dude Ranch. Like, I think Dude Ranch is when it became frat boy music, but
Yeah,
pre
totally.
that.
And so there's something sort of really fun about, I guess, like transporting yourself to a time when you were like, oh my God, a party. Like, how cool did the party in Sweater Song seem?
Totally. It's like those new YouTube videos that are not new anymore, maybe a year old, but like how people would be like listening to Childish Gambino Redbone from the bathroom at a party, or those YouTube YouTube
yeah,
uploads?
totally.
So I guess this is the early example of that, is like making it feel like you're at a party.
Yeah. And like, also, especially when it comes to these kind of like, I mean, obviously, like, Sweater Song is a major label album, or on a major label album. This is, like, more scrappy, and I kind of do imagine that there were probably just, like, drinking and carousing in the studio. Like, it does feel like they were definitely just fucking around, even if it was just, like, the three of them. And I like that. Because if it was on, like, a new Blink album, it would be horribly contrived. And,
Yeah.
But here there's like a level of like sort of playful earnestness to it that it's hard to like shit on.
And if they were like Sonic Youth or something, we would call this a field recording. And I've always thought that like things like field recording sound so good on Godspeed Records or whatever. And I always wish that pop punk bands would have more of that. Like, there's no reason that you can't insert some weird ambient sound into your pop punk song.
You know what you're gonna fucking hate is the Lawrence Arms did that. I don't know I don't know how much we've talked about the Lawrence Arms, but I know what your opinion definitely is. But yeah, on the last Lawrence Arms album, there's a bunch of just like very Godspeed ass like field recordings of just like the streets of Chicago.
Okay, I take back what I said right now, but
Right, it's a bad idea. No one should do it.
similarly, something that we need to talk about one day, but not today. There's no time. There's not enough energy drinks in the world for today. But we need to have our like we just did exclusive, sort of a change my mind kind of thing. We need to have our ultimate atheist versus Christian style debate over whether or not Japan Droids is good.
Oh yeah, we've been hinting at that in chat for a while, and I'm very much
Should
looking
be
forward
like-
to it.
That should be like a pay-per-view event.
Yeah, and I don't think either of us has ever said what our opinion is, but
But I also think everyone very clearly knows
Yeah.
what it is. Without,
Yeah.
Maybe it just never needs to be done because everyone just already knew and
what
knows.
if it's the opposite? Like, what if?
Yeah, what if I don't like them?
Right? Yeah, that would be shocking.
The other thing I wanted to say about the quiet intro is that this song's like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's appeared a bunch of times. There's a bunch of different versions, but it also appeared, and this is among Blink-182 at their most ableist, which we'll have to talk about in a second, but
yeah.
it also appeared on the Short Bus EP, which is has like the handicap parking spot on the cover. So that, I mean, not great. Didn't age that well. But listen to the intro of the Short Bus EP. It's really funny and trolly.
Who makes up all the rules about the girls I want? Who tells them all to laugh? Tells them all to talk about me, and I'm not sure what my purpose is for being here. Why do they always kick me in the groin when I come near? I'm not complaining, it just hurts after a bit.
That's like fucking hilarious.
It's so good.
That's so good. Because, like, I mean, not only is it, like, funny in the just way of, like, generally, like, whatever, just being kind of shitty, but it's, like, so indicative of, like, just normal drummer behavior. Just, like, I think, like, now no one does, but I remember, like, every Battle of the Bands that you would go to in, like, the 9th and 10th grade, anytime, like, there was a break between songs and, like, the singer was like, what's up? We're, like, cruising for catastrophe. And the drummer would just be like, and you're like, why are you doing that, man? Like, drummers are truly.
It's so true. So I'm in
Yeah.
a new band with my friend Daryl. It's his songs. I'm playing bass. And then Chris Dadge, the most repeated guest of the pod, Chris Dadge, he's drumming. And he's like an insanely sick drummer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Juno,
he's
a winning drummer.
Yeah,
right?
he won a Juno for playing on both. Well, for playing on the most recent Always record, but he played on both. He tours, like, he's Chad Van Galen's drummer. He's like the most pro drummer in the world, And yet even him at band practice, I have to be like, hey, Dad, can you stop fucking playing right now? I'm trying to learn the riff and I can't hear because you're just like dicking around in between. Like,
It's a disease. Like being a drummer is like having a brain worm.
it's so good. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I love that Short Bus E EP.
That's like I wish it was that, because that's like way funnier than, because I can't tell what they're saying and I'm worried that it's bad and that I have to hate the song or something.
Well, and both versions, though, putting the party thing in the background, too, is like both of them are like, you can tell they're like, this is way too slow and boring and serious sounding, and we need to add something. Add some whoopee cushions or something.
Yeah, but they never like bothered to fix it because it is the worst part of the song. Like it's not. I think the rest of the song is great, and like that's just like very clearly tacked on, and so it's.
I kind of like it. Well, okay, the groin line at the end is funny because it's like a punchline to what otherwise sounds serious.
Yeah.
The way that it's written in the form of multiple questions makes it seem biblical, like Ecclesiastes or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's so like lamentful. He's so sad, and the delivery is so mousy. It sounds like Early Modest Mouse or whatever. I mean, I've said all of these things before, but this is kind of like. I love how cheesy it is at the start.
Yeah, his like speaking voice is also, especially on that version, like he sounds small and young, and it's just like very funny to hear this like, you know, like not fully marble mouthed Tom just be like, oh, make the fucking oh sweet boy, I just want to scoop him up, put him in my pocket.
It's so cute.
This is like Tom at his most scoopable. Like, doesn't he seem like he's probably like 3 feet tall singing this song?
Absolutely.
Just a song for you, you know?
Tiny Tim.
Yeah. Which, you know, maybe that would explain the use of the R word here because, you know, he himself is R-worded and he's allowed to say it. It's just that we're not, you know?
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about the lyrics with our guest, but in the spirit of making the episode as long as possible, we can talk about them again. But, I mean, there's some debate. Is this a red-pilled incel song or not? But then when you see the phrase, all those dumb, lame, and retarded broads, it's like, this is insane. Like... I feel like it's that, what was that Louis C.K. drama show that everyone pretended was good? Horace and Pete or
Horace
something?
and Pete, yeah.
Did you ever try watching that shit? Oh my God.
I definitely pretended to like it.
Oh, everyone's like, he's doing something better than, like, network television could ever do. And it's just, like, a shitty set and Louis C.K. saying the N-word to Steve Buscemi over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much. But like
this is like that's like the most Louis C.K. lyric they've ever done. All these dumb, lame. It's so Louis C.K.
you can picture Tom just like pawing a brick wall, you know.
Oh my God! Actually, Louis C.K. is maybe Louis C.K. is a Blink-182 fan because all of his behavior is very like he's misinterpreted early Blink-182 lyrics.
Right? Yeah. Maybe we should get him on the pod. Is he? He's cool, right? That's fine.
Well,
I haven't been paying a lot of attention to
get
popular culture.
We have the power to get people canceled, but the question is, do we have the power to get them uncanceled?
Oh, we should try to really flex that by being part of the Louis C.K. Rehabilitation tour.
Oh my God! I was like taking a lift home from a party at Sundance. It was like 4:30 a.m.
Wow.
And I was so tired and so sober, which just makes you even more tired.
Yeah.
And then it was like the place we stay at is like 45 minutes away from the main area. So it was a long ass drive, and it was like this bro guy who loves like Jesus and Miro, but like he's like this white classic American bro. And it's seriously so fucking late, and then he's just like, so what's y'all's take on Louis C.K.? I mean, should he not be allowed to have a job just because? I'm like, oh my God.
That's like his small talk?
It's so late at night. Please, like, just drive off, just careen off the highway instead of making me do this right now.
I don't understand what people are thinking when they initiate conversations like that, because it's like, do you look like someone who would be like, I think it's not right what's being done to him? Like,
I mean, I probably do look exactly like that kind of person.
I was talking about Vice, like I was having lunch with someone and we were talking about this Vice thing, and the server was like, hey, sorry, I couldn't help it over here. You just talking about, I love Vice. And we're like, yeah, Vice is like fine. Vice is cool. And he's like, yeah, just like Gavin McInnes. Like, I'm really into Gavin McInnes. And I was like, right. That's not really what we're talking about. He's like, yeah, just think like, just we're in a weird time. And like, I'm like, it's a busy lunch hour. Like this restaurant is full, and he's taking time to tell us like how he's like, hey, we should be able to like say what we want. And like, I just think Gavin's got some really interesting points about like bringing us back to kind of like, whatever I was like, dude, what are you talking about? I was like, this is not. It's just like, what makes you think you should unload on us? And then also, like, so he's talking about how much he loves Gavin McInnes. I was like, yeah, the racism stuff is like kind of fucked up. And he's like, oh yeah, that's not great. And it's worth noting at this point that the person that I'm eating lunch with is a person of color. And so like the guy leaves, and the person I'm eating with is like, did he not just like look at me and realize this was probably not a great idea to start talking about? Like some people just like don't. No, some people don't know when to shut up. Not you or me.
Right. So anyways,
Others.
let's continue introducing the song. That's my
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the payoff of this song is pretty sick, and it sounds like all of Damn It happening at once.
Yeah, it's true. There's like, it feels also like so similar to Carousel, which is probably why I like it. Like, I feel like anytime there's like an older Blink song where I'm like, this song's actually pretty sick. And then I like think about the melody for 2 seconds and I'm like, oh, it's basically Carousel. And,
Right.
Yeah, and it's like Carousel and M&M's are the direct precursor to Damn It. Like they're circling around these perfect ideas. And all things considered, it makes it all the more impressive to me that by the time they get to Dude Ranch, that they're able to take that formula and write 15 very unique songs, because it feels like in this era, the good songs are kind of all copies of each other.
I also think that like there's nothing wrong with doing the same song over and over again, especially if you're a dumb pop punk band. Like that's something. There's a fine balance that I think Blink-182 has done so well. That's why we're still talking about them.
Yeah, that's why.
It's not because we have a profound sickness of the soul.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with this.
Werner Herzog's gonna do a documentary about the pod one day.
Yeah, I looked into their eyes and saw nothing, a gaping hole where their soul should be full of talk of calm. So that's a really good Werner Herzog impression. The other thing that like I made literally one note about this song, which I would love to share with you right now.
Is that your first note in
I've
a
like
long time?
given a note once. And it's usually just that this song sounds like another song, and so that's what I'm doing right now. Which is that the riff in this song basically just sounds like "Stupid Kid" by Alkaline Trio. But this song, "Stupid Kid," came out well after this album was out. So
So
like,
you're saying Skiba's been stealing?
I'm
from-
saying maybe like him joining Blink is like penance for his previous thievery.
All right, let's
So
hear this.
It's important to note that the song doesn't start right away because there's like spooky Alkaline Trio shit happening at the beginning.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you. That's it.
Oh, I don't like how he tries to do like a half Morrissey voice sometimes.
I think it's like a
So
way more of a
weird.
Danzig voice that he's trying to do. It's
Right,
all
okay.
all the same, all the same vibrato ridden
it's like
trashy.
deep vibrato. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it.
Oh boy. All right. Well, the thing is, I don't really remember the riff, but I believe you.
It's the same. It's like yeah,
Okay.
and no one listening to this episode will have listened to it because we won't have played enough of it off the top. So like that was just for me.
We all believe you, Sam.
Thanks, man.
While you're not sleeping tonight because you drank an energy drink and you had the hubris to think that you could, pull it off.
Oh, don't worry, man. I'm gonna sleep like a baby after enjoying this smooth Monster Energy Zero Ultra.
Is that like aspartame in there too?
I don't know. It's got first of all, the can is stippled, so I think that's why I like it because it's a real luxurious tactile experience, which is good. It contains I don't know. It's all in French.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, who could ever know? Carbonated water. That's the number one ingredient. It's basically water.
Here's the band playing it in Montreal in 1998 when Travis had first joined.
He makes up all the rules about those girls I want. I'm not complaining, it just hurts out for me.
Travis could have played like that if he wanted to.
I know. Also, can you imagine? It's actually, it was so shocking to me when the sing along started, because like to me these eras are so disconnected that the idea that there is a time in which Travis is in the band, but they still have an audience that knows like a song from the middle of Cheshire Cat
Yeah.
is so crazy. Because can you imagine if they like brought this song out like just on some like amp show, you know, between All the Small Things and Adam's Song? Like it would be dead silent, like for sure, right?
Yeah. And also the part of the reason they all sang it is because I think Mark could hear they were singing and he shoves Tom away from the mic. Like he walks over and pushes him.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
And they're playing in front of the like rabbit swastika banner.
I know, it's so cool. Like if they're gonna not get rid of the backdrop, why would they keep the fuck one instead of this? This is way cooler.
Yeah. Oh fuck. They should bring that back out. And this is in Montreal, by the way, Canada connection.
I know. I said that earlier.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Thanks for listening.
Look, dude, I'm focused on the energy drink right now. I'm focused on a lot of things right now. I'm just.
I'm not gonna lie. I did a tweet while you were talking earlier.
Are you kidding me? Every time I like, because I usually wait until we get into the covers, and that's when I start like looking at Twitter during the podcast, and then I'll see that you tweeted half an hour before, and I'm like really mad about it, even though I'm looking at Twitter too.
Oh, we really are.
What was your
becoming a
tweet?
married
Tell me
couple.
your tweet. Tell me
This
it.
is an extremely married couple thing to be doing.
Yeah, it was so good. Why don't you say it? I want to know your tweet.
No, like you're spending too much time on Twitter instead of talking to me.
Yeah, I'm right here, Josiah.
I just like happened to look at Twitter and then I saw the Hollywood Reporter had posted this horrible image that I had to quietly screenshot and repost. It says how young people would fix the Oscars, and there's an Oscar like
that is
riding.
admittedly
He's
very
vaping. How could I not?
Yeah, no,
tweet
this
right
is
now?
important. I'm glad that you did that.
Thank you.
It's the Oscar on a razor scooter vaping. Oh yeah, that's awful.
Oh God. Okay. I'm also in a group chat with Sarah and our friend Mila, who we never stop chatting, and so it's popping up on GChat right now, and they're talking about. She just told Sarah to watch the wife swap episode where it's Mark McGrath and I think Coolio. They trade wives.
Sick.
And it keeps popping up. I'm sorry. Like people are. My life is being ruined by these chats.
It's true. You should definitely like cut down on your friends. I think it should mostly just be me,
Just
even though we
just
are
you.
not confirmed friends yet.
I know. Well, I'm not ready to make the leap, but when I do, you'll know.
Good.
Okay, this other live video is really interesting to me. I found this on Reddit. I guess it's the second half of the song, but it's pro quality. But if you click through to the Vimeo, there's like these edits of these like weird sort of raver punk girls, and this is uploaded by someone named Bart Barnacle, and I feel like it's someone's like Vimeo. I feel like there's like people on Vimeo and YouTube who have like they turn it into some sort of weird like proto MTV late night collage or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
So this seems to be part of that. It feels like some sort of like weird zine thing. And the title of this video is Only It. Like, it's so fucked. So I'm just going to hit play, but I guess it cuts to them playing it halfway through, but it's such pro quality that I was like, oh, damn, this will sound good for once.
I'd like to take this time to tell you that I have a very tasty wiener. My penis tastes like chicken! Please run to the fire, yeah, while you're trying, I keep on trying. Don't be so much fun that I can lose. But when you see me, just here tell me, come on, I want to slay. Stop saying, give me another life, yeah.
I mean, Watch This probably wasn't even the right song, and it was just tagged wrong on Reddit. But
Yeah. I mean, like, I was too distracted by just like the aesthetics of the video because it's like white t-shirts, like baggy khakis. Now
It's
Tom's
so
holding up a
sad.
bra. Oh, and
There's
yeah,
always
now
a-
it's into the weird comp section of like,
yeah, doesn't it seem like this is some like New York art student made this?
yeah, it's so weird. And Tom's got the
Someone
tight
who, like, knows the
ball-bearing
vibe.
necklace too.
It's just really sad because we love these videos. We never shut up about how great they are, how Scott was the one. But really what
I
we're
don't think we've ever
describing,
said that.
what they've been running away from this whole time and what we're describing is just the fleeting nature of youth. They could never be this bright-eyed and innocent and fast and good at punk jumps and white t-shirt adorned ever again.
That's true.
So it's really
Wow.
just like very melancholy, especially when it has this VHS aesthetic. It's like, damn, it'll never be that again.
So, are you saying that like this podcast is actually about the fleeting nature of youth?
Yeah, I think so. I think I am.
That's, I mean, 100% true and also extremely depressing. Given that, like, you know, we still have pieces of our youth in the sense that, like, you know, we're aging, and we are spending it on this project. So,
I mean,
there's-
I will say this also. The good trade-off was when they realized that they were aging and that it would never be the same. And so then they started experimenting and playing with their own legacy to experiment. But then, especially that's probably why California is depressing, because they're trying to capture the punk jump and it just can't be done.
trying to bring back those white t-shirts and khakis, yeah. Sorry, I'm really distracted by this hip young Oscar on the Razor scooter. I mean, I can't.
It's pretty fucked,
I'm like,
right?
yeah, sure. Like, I'm like staring at it.
I don't think it's a razor, actually. Someone
don't-
has commented razors are back, baby, but I don't think it's a razor.
Wow.
I think it's one of those, like, what are those called? There's, like, a new thing in America where you can rent a scooter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a scooter share thing. I think it's called a bird or something. I don't know.
Is that what? Jeez.
Let's X the tab. I gotta X the tab.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because now it's time for me to show you all the fucked up things I found on YouTube.
Yep. Cool. cool.
So we're gonna start with
So glad I drank an energy drink for this.
can you smell your own breath? This
Hey
guy,
guys, Joe.
he has a real felty
is that?
energy.
Yeah,
This is uploaded by Weird Health News, and this is the most divorced-looking man I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's never even been married, and he's divorced, I think.
Yeah.
And this is what he talks like.
Hey guys, Gerald Davies here, and have you ever wondered how you can smell your own breath? Well, I've wondered that too. Why is it that we can't smell our own breath? There's an opening, a connection in our oral cavity between our mouth and our nose. And our nose generally blocks out background smells and concentrates more on smells that are new to it rather than smells that they constantly smell. So how can we smell our own breath? Here are some techniques that you can use to successfully smell your own breath.
Oh, this is good. So we can learn.
Well, the first technique I'll
Jesus
is the hand cupping technique. And it's generally the
This seems like when you find something on YouTube that was like a grade 10 project of do a how-to video and we'll learn how to edit, but this guy's like so
This guy's like definitely 50. I love this genre of YouTube videos, which is I can't speak at my full speaking voice because, like I live in an apartment and it's late, or, my family is asleep or whatever. I don't want people knowing that I'm making YouTube videos, so that like he's trying to do YouTuber voice, but he's like, "Hey guys, it's me. I'm here." Like, you notice that sometimes with it's like certain podcasts, like such as ours. Like, I am rude. I like sure that my landlord can constantly hear me. I ruin Ashley's night, like in her big open apartment where she's like trying to.
Woody
relax.
gets like actually aggressive because I'm projecting my voice so much. It like
Right.
makes him freaked out.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is we're much better than this guy, even though we're
We're more
destroying.
alpha than him. That's why we're not divorced. That's all it is.
It's true. The minute that I start getting quiet on the podcast, I might as well just like start the
You're
paperwork.
releasing the more you project, the more you're releasing pheromones into the ether.
You should definitely start some like How to Alpha YouTube channel where you just explain these straight. I talk really loud to my cat. That's why I'm not divorced and I have zero gray hair. Instead, I have, I believe you said little boy hair. So I'm just picturing you with like kind of newborn fuzz all over.
All right, the next video is called "My Breath Smells Like Trash." It's written in all caps and it's uploaded by EJ Speaks, and I think she's trying to sell us something. I'm pretty sure. The description says, "Aren't you tired of making everyone around you nauseous with your demonic breath?" Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, when I searched these, I was disappointed with the results, so I went to most recently uploaded to find some real fucked up shit.
Oh yeah, that's the Josiah Classic. I've missed that.
Yeah, so this is from Feb 1st. Here we go.
It's been a hard, hot journey having this breath, No one would talk to me. Hey, Harold. Great. Now you've ruined my lunch with that potluck of toilets mouth. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Maybe this is just supposed to be a comedy sketch. I can't really tell.
I feel like it's a comedy sketch that is also SpawnCon. Because they have hashtagged it, ad, and hashtag burst oral care.
And there's a coupon code if you want to
Have
use.
lunch with me.
She's playing all the different characters and exaggerating how much the breath stinks, but
It's hard.
like because she's playing all the characters, they never are in the frame together, so they're so far away. So her breath must really be bad.
Yeah. Also, like, if you click on that hashtag for burst oral care, like, it is exclusively videos from struggle YouTubers that have all put the coupon code in the title of the video. So, like, and none of these videos, like, many of these videos have tens of views. This has one, like, this one has literally one view, but they're all on different channels, and they're all people who otherwise seem to be like, yeah, struggling YouTubers. Oh my God, this is so weird and sad.
Amazing. Okay, next up is actually before I play this, I want to. So this is a Musical.ly compilation where they're reenacting like a viral video, I guess, about breath stinking. Mm-hmm. Because and it's called TikTok now. Obviously, I'm sure that all of your meetings now are just exclusively about TikTok.
Yeah,
right? Is that like the future?
Every time I go to a dinner or have a lunch, it's exclusively to talk tick, as we say in the biz.
Oh, wow. Well, before I play
that's
this
like
one,
literally the best thing I've ever. Like, I literally want to
Yeah,
stop the
that's
podcast now. Like, I've
we
never
should
said
probably-
it. Yeah, we gotta shut it down.
have you seen though I'm just playing this now because I don't even care. Have you seen the "I baked you a pie" thing from TikTok?
No, I'll be honest, dude. I don't get music. I didn't get Musically. Like, Musically was the first time that I was like, oh, I don't understand something. And I like put in a very small amount of effort and it didn't work, and that's it. And now TikTok,
That's fair.
People are like, oh, TikTok's just Musically. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
So basically, you just like pantomime along to a song. It's like Air Bands or something. Like you just are lip syncing something.
Right,
But
okay.
there's tons of filters, and it's pretty much just the new Vine, except built around the original idea was that you'd lip sync things, but people lip sync these YouTube videos and stuff. So there's this.
Do we have a TikTok strategy? I mean, as the person in charge of our
I
social
think
media.
we should figure that out. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I'll add that
let's
to my,
offline that. Yeah, and
I'll make a text edit document. It'll be untitled 14, I think, right now we're at on my desktop here. But so there's this like awful YouTuber called like Tom Ska or something. It's like a wretched, horrible British guy who's like post the oatmeal style humor,
Right,
but like to
okay.
the nth degree. It's awful. And he has this song called The Muffin Song that's truly like the most cursed thing I've ever heard, or cursed, I should say.
Yeah.
But these dudes took one section of it and made the most upsetting video I've ever seen. I need to play the audio on my side, but almost need it to match up too, so I don't know how we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna hit play in 3 seconds. Okay? Are you ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
You a pie. Oh boy, what flavor? Pie, pie, pie.
Dad, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry, I'm Dad.
Why did you make me this way? Why?
You a pie.
This is a 10-hour loop, which I could probably watch. It's so mortifying, this video, that like I can't stop thinking about it at all times. And the Muffin Song is even worse.
You know what? I've heard this. I have like, this is, I'm just realizing how many of these I'm about to watch.
Yeah. So this one is different though. So I just wanted to play that one because it's like a part of my who I am as a person at this point.
Okay.
But this one, I guess, I don't know what the original source video is, but it's literally "Does my breath smell?" So I mean, this is once again a Blink phrase that's just going on forever.
Okay.
Because when you normally say "Does my breath stink?" that's what I probably would have said when I was a teen.
Just my breath. Yeah, like even like what I mean, it was mostly because I was trying to avoid just repeating the title. But I think when I yelled at Ashley, it was to find out. I was like, "Do I have stinky breath?" Or like, "Does my breath
Yeah.
smell?" Yeah. What is? Maybe
Do I
it's
have a potty? Does my breath smell like a potty?
maybe it's like a cultural thing. Like maybe Australians are like, ask if they've got stoinky broith or whatever, and if you're from the Bay Area, you ask if you've got geek stink breath.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I don't know. Let's just watch some of these. Obviously, it's going to be even worse for the listener because they won't get the visuals.
Does my
But
breath smell?
there's just people like smelling the breath and then pretending to faint.
Does my breath
A
smell?
little boy imitating it. The internet's
Does
awful.
my breath smell?
The internet is so bad.
Also, like so many of the people making these videos are,
Does my breath smell?
I think, like our age. Like they're not just like kind of teens being funny on the internet. It's like 30-year-olds being embarrassing on the internet. Oh, it's still happening.
Yeah, well, this is part 1, and it's 3.5 minutes long.
Oh my
The
god.
one at like, oh my god, at like the 41-second mark, just look at that lady. How she edits her face is so demonic.
I hate that this is all happening.
Well, let's move along. I just had to mention it quickly, but let's move along to
Quickly, real quick here.
You've seen the prank collections, but this one is like a middle-aged woman doing her name is Beatrice Steinberg. She's in the grocery store like asking strangers to smell her breath.
What
That's
the?
ridiculous. My breath smells. Does my breath smell?
I don't smell any.
You don't smell. Check it out.
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't think it smells? I'm all right.
I'm not going to smell anybody's breath. It's unsanitary.
On what?
It's unsanitary.
Oh, is it? How, really? Just smelling? I didn't know that. We're not going out because my breath smells. Are you serious? You're just joking, right? We're not going out because my breath smells. Does my breath smell? Pardon me? Does my breath smell? See? I'm asking this woman.
Okay, actually, this is my new favorite thing I've ever seen because there are certain things that are truly only funny to like moms in their 50s, and this is the exact kind of thing.
Yeah, like
your mom's like,
prank,
"Why do you-"
grocery store prank.
But the prank is just, what if you said to them that your breath smells? Wouldn't that be hilarious? It's like so innocuous.
Yeah. Also, like I love that this woman kind of looks like she's like Sweet D's mom. Like, just the idea that, like, you know, her,
And the comment is really, really good. Really good. I'm going to try to find where this happens.
yeah.
There's no. So Kay has commented, and her comment and her name being Kay, and the fact that it's just like some nice autumn leaves makes me think that there's a whole like network of middle-aged women using YouTube as if it was like as if they were tweens, but it's their own version of it.
Yeah.
Because this comment is. There was absolutely no need for that old man to be so rude to the shop assistant.
Like, first of all, the shop assistant, like, the old-timey English ass.
Like fucking C86 Twee Band
Yeah.
reference. Okay, so there is. I found where there's an old man talking to a shop assistant. Let's see what happens.
Excuse.
Against what I told them not to do.
That's fine.
I get hurt with this, that'll be the end of this.
All right.
I'm telling you this.
Okay.
I'm telling you once and for all.
So this guy's like,
I'm not playing with this. I'm not like the President of the United States and that's all you sticking people come in this country, illegal or otherwise.
That's completely different issue, sir.
It is, it's the same issue.
Okay.
there's just an old man yelling at a person of color working at Walmart about illegal immigrants, and she's just standing there filming.
Is she eventually going to ask him if her breath smells? Like, how does this...
I get hurt from this, that's the end of it. I'm gonna close you up.
Okay.
You won't get hurt from that.
I better not.
Not from the can
I
opener.
better not. Because if I get hurt from this doggone thing, I guarantee you a lawyer's gonna be right behind me. And I'm not, I'll close this place up so fast your head will spin.
Whew.
And if you think I can't do it, try me.
No, I believe you. That's probably senile. This guy was freaking out. What?
So it just becomes like a documentary halfway through.
About, like, this is, like, just, like, some people of Walmart shit. Like... Like,
oh my god.
Also, just to be clear, so I think we got a little bit of exposition there. It sounds like he cut himself on a can opener, and
I think it might have fallen off the rack or something.
Oh, okay, so either way, there was some sort of incident with a can opener that led to him screaming at a person of color working in this Walmart about, like, the president, presumably, 2012. So he was yelling about Obama and
So this is
illegal
really a warning
immigration.
sign.
Yeah.
If more people had watched "Smell My Breath" by Beatrice Steinberg, maybe we would have been able to prevent what was happening. I thought that he might have been a plant at first, but the way that the mic, like, he wasn't mic'd, so I don't think it was planned. Maybe.
Yeah, what is happening in here? This whole comment section, like, has degraded into this, like, paranoid conversation about fluoride in the water. Did you know fluoride was first used against prisoners in Russia? Hitler then used it. Today, many dentists and doctors know about its dangers. Go do some research instead of asking me for proof. Search dentists against fluoride. Then come and delete this comment because you may feel a little stupid. Probably all the fluoride you are drinking, it does slow the brain down.
You know what's funny? There actually was. I'm pretty sure there's no fluoride in the water in Calgary because everyone voted to get it removed.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the debate might come back this year, so we're gonna be having.
Okay, sorry. This also take this to IKEA and do a few pranks around there. Smiley face emoji. IKEA, always good spot to hang out in small little bedroom display halls. And then they, like, follow it up with same user. Yes, a trip to IKEA. Because IKEA, you can pretend you're in bed. Using the bathroom and toilet because IKEA shows mini bedrooms and mini bathrooms with display items for sale. I guess it's a good thing. Love to see it. Smiley face. Many gay people love IKEA. Winking emoji. Like, I don't think that's homophobic. Wow. I feel like they're, like, endorsing the idea of, like, IKEA's gay agenda.
Well, I also Beatrice has a robust YouTube presence. She's done a lot of these prank vids. Sorry, it keeps playing her homepage, but I'm trying to find the one because she said, if this is too boring, watch, like, Poop My Pants video or something. Pooping in public. Oh. But I also just love how she keeps writing, like, thanks for supporting me. These comments don't bother me. They are entitled to their opinion. Thanks so much for watching. Like, Beatrice is just a damn cutie.
Yeah.
I love Beatrice.
I love Mama Sweet D.
All right, I'm dying to show you. I was gonna build up to this, but I'm fucking dying to show you this. I
Okay.
can't believe I found this. It's fucking insane. I'm so excited. I was debating not having this section because it's so obvious, but then I found this video, which is just like, please just read the title of the video and then read the name of the user, and just please please savor this moment because it's beautiful.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, so the title of this video, this is like I'm so excited. These are the things where, like, you know, look at there's peaks and valleys in being Blink 155, right?
Right.
And
mostly peaks, let's be honest.
yeah, it's just pure peaks. But like sometimes a song like this, I just like anticipate a bit of an emotional valley, and then you bring me these gifts. It's like.
Right.
It's like you're
fucking
Woody,
around.
and you're like bringing me dead pigeons and stuff, and I'm like, stop, please. And then one day you like accidentally dig up just like a pot of gold, you know?
Right. A pod of gold.
Oh, fuck. That's good. So the title of this video is, all caps, Bad Breath Beyonce. And the username is Puffina231 number 2, the stank mouth fetish. And should I read the description?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, the video is not as good as the description, but it is so fucking... The whole thing is so good. And I did not know that... I realized that there's a chance that there's quite a big stank mouth fetish community out there that I didn't really dig into yet, but hopefully...
But it makes sense. It's like smelling... Like farts, like all those things are fetishes. So like I never really thought about it though. Beyonce is talking about her latest project with her family, but her breath is so bad she can peel paint. Her breath smells like hot cow doo-doo. And then they've used the kind of 2 heart swirling emoji, the black heart emoji, lips emoji, the kind of tooting emoji, the poop emoji, the emoji with a surgical mask over it, 2 emojis with heart eyes, the emoji kissing, and then the skull emoji. Like I said, most high yellow girls has the stinkiest breath.
So, the video has this interesting intro. There's like this music, and this girl sort of spins around in her room, and then does like a whisper secret as green stink juice comes out of her mouth.
Oh my
and then it says Stank Breath Diaries. But then the best thing is the video is just straight up Beyonce on the red carpet. They've edited like green stink clouds coming out of her mouth, and the person interviewing her is thinking, "Damn, did someone fart?" As this like green cloud flies in her face. And then normal interview again.
It wasn't.
And then,
my God, her breath stinks. Woo!
I was pregnant. I started on this documentary maybe 3
this
years
is
ago.
incredible.
And I didn't feel like it was complete until I became a mother.
I'm just gonna skip ahead to all the different thought bubbles, because otherwise we're gonna just be watching a normal interview.
A 3-minute Beyonce interview. So she says, "I'm about to die over here." Her breath.
Doo-doo breath on deck. Jay-Z, I feel for you.
Oh my God.
Why of all days her breath got to stink?
Wow. There's so much green. What do we got here? Gotta wrap this interview up. Her breath is killing me.
And then this is the one you're gonna hear a screenshot noise in a second. It says, "Bitch, you stink."
Yes.
And then there's credits at the end. They read, "Bad Breath Beyonce, the Bad Breath Fetish Productions, special effects by Puffina231." So I mean, this is just. I mean, what do you even say?
I just love, like, so in the comments, like, damn, the armpits too. Like, people are fantasizing about all of the ways in which Beyonce stinks, and they love it. Wow.
I also love that if you click through her channel, I think Puffina just steals other people's videos and adds the stink
lines, yeah.
and then adds like sexy captions.
Yeah, here's another comment. "Let me smell your bad breath, please." Yes. Oh. This is This is my fetish now.
Also, someone said, with all the millions, I heard Angelina Jolie as well. And I just got to say, we're going to move on now, but I did see other people saying Angelina Jolie does have stanky breath. So.
Really? Stinky breath morning when you come to a job interview with doo-doo breath. Hot breath. hot breath party girl.
I like how some people just think that it's like real somehow. Like
there's a few
like
fake,
comments are just
and you're
like,
well, yeah.
They're like, she's really rich though. Like, how does she have bad breath?
Right.
Did you think that you were seeing the thought bubbles?
Yeah, I just like the idea that people like are commenting, like I will not be fooled. Like this is not real. It's like thank you for. Oh, here. This is something I consider myself, and so it's good to see others, using this tag. Stank breath revolutionary.
Why are there so many downvotes on this video? I don't understand.
I don't understand.
It was not misleading in any way.
No,
if you clicked this video,
stinks.
you got what you wanted.
Here's one of a woman in a hijab. Ramadan breath number 3. Like they've just covered all possible demos and sort of fetishes here. Oh, dude, this is great. Morning stinky appointments ASMR.
Should we watch that one?
Yeah, we definitely should.
There's so many. It's like fucked, actually. Wait, I want to see this one. Halitosis preaching.
Oh.
This young lady's breath smells like stale doo-doo. I'm gonna skip ahead a bit.
Is it me, or do y'all ever notice that the people who got the most opinions about your life really don't support you anyway, don't know what's going on?
There's stink lines coming
out. They just always opinionated. They always got an opinion about what you should be doing, who you should be doing.
Oh my god, what is happening?
I don't know, man, but like this is 100% how I like. This is the only way I can get it up now. It's these stink lines. Oh my god. This is me. This is my sexual identity.
Well, listen, Sam.
Yeah.
We've been like ruthlessly on topic right now.
Oh, people have got to be sick of our relentless focus.
So if you'll indulge me, I would like to show you another artist when I searched on SoundCloud that has a song about their breath.
Okay. I mean, that's a little you're pushing it now, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, but I figured we've been on topic this whole time, so why not check out Grevin and his hard jazz rock opus, Smell My Breath. I mean, look how cool Grevin is.
How active is the hashtag hard jazz rock? Oh, wow, okay. There's 3 songs on all of SoundCloud that are tagged as one word hard jazz rock.
Well, Grevin wrote, should be a tribute to David Bowie, but it turned out to be something completely different. And I just want to say Grevin looks kind of like... if Marc Maron had not achieved any success in his later years, I think he would look exactly like this guy.
Right. I mean, this guy looks like he definitely has a podcast, but it's about like...
but it's like first wave podcast, like when it was just like David Brent or fucking Ricky Gervais,
right.
And then like someone talking about tiki bars or something.
No, it's like it's his goal to interview every bass player.
Well, let's hear Grevin's tune, Smell My Breath.
Change it up there. I mean,
what else is there to say? I know, just when I look at his picture, I wish there was a green smoke cloud.
I know.
Which is also like a Breaking Bad opening credits effect. Like, why haven't people been doing stink lines this whole time?
It's true. I also like to imagine that, like, because like anytime you've got like a sort of fetish community and something like that happens, they think they're being acknowledged. Like, so for sure, I bet if we like looked into it, the sort of stink breath fetishists are like Vince Gilligan is one of us, like 100%.
Yeah, totally.
Like Pafina,
oh shit,
231 number 2, the stank mouth fetish is like like extremely with Aaron Paul.
I think Grevin actually looks a lot like Vince Gilligan as well.
Oh, he does. Maybe this
Look.
is. Oh, wow. Vince Gilligan
Anyway.
seems like a hard jazz rocker. Like, no
He
doubt.
does, and I actually do believe that he's a stank breath fetishist, to be honest.
Well, why else would you put stink breath lines in the
Yeah,
opening?
that
of
has
show?
nothing to do with meth or
It
like
has
science.
nothing to do with science or meth or cancer or planes, whatever the second season of Breaking Bad was about.
I think it's about the docks off of Baltimore, and the shipping containers.
Right, I forgot about that, yeah.
So why don't we move along from these topics? And I know you don't want to. I know you want to keep talking about stank breath, but why don't we get into some covers?
Okay. I mean, sure, I guess, if we have to. If you were to twist my arm and force me to...
We should have actually turned up the gain for this episode so it was very breathy.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Hold on, I'm gonna crank it up just for this part here, just so people can really experience as much of my mouth as they want.
Right. So, okay, this first one is by somebody named Kevin Mojica on SoundCloud, and he has a little star beside his name. It looks like this guy's pretty active and a pro.
A premium proman.
Yeah, but I love that this song says it was released by Kev's Garage Band iOS. So I don't think that's a record label necessarily. I think it might just be an automated title. But he's done like a very slick cover of this. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So here we go.
Who makes up all the rules about those girls I want? Who tells them all to laugh? Who tells them all to talk about me? And I'm not sure what my purpose is for being here. Why do they always kick me in the groin when I come near? And I'm not complaining, it just hurts after a bit.
Sounds so good.
It's so good. It's one of those things where I was quite skeptical because I was like, the beginning it's just going to sound so stupid if you try to make it sound good. But he kind of clears the beginning fine, and then it's like it's a jaunty little tune. The song's good, man.
The song is good. I feel like it reminds me of maybe the song Bob by No Effect.
Yeah, it's got real Bob energy.
I wonder what the timeline is. There's no way to find out, but one of them ripped off each other probably.
Yeah.
Here's
Bob by Rancid, right? That's a Rancid song?
Yeah. Wait, isn't it? Did NoFX and Rancid cover each other? Maybe
yeah,
they
that
did.
was the joke. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I never had that split though.
No, because
so.
I didn't like Rancid enough.
I know, but now I love Rancid. I just listen to Rancid all the time.
No, it turns out like Rancid was the right answer, but.
Yeah, although someone mentioned to me that it might be worth looking into Brody Dahl's age when she started dating Tim Armstrong, which is kind of an interesting question that I'm not necessarily saying anything definitively about into a mic, but you know, maybe someone should look into that.
Someone should give that a quick Google. Well, okay.
Okay, this next one is an acoustic cover on YouTube by Mikey Does Covers, and I already am dreaming of stink lines coming out of his mouth as he sings it. He looks sort of like a rough and tumble kind of character, but then when he sings, he just sounds so tiny, like he's literally like shrunken.
He looks
like a shrunken boy.
impossibly English to me. Like,
Yeah.
I've never watched This Is England, but in my mind, it's just a cast of tiny boys exactly like this.
You're not far off, but this boy seems so shrunken that he would like fit in your like. I'm talking like Tinkerbell from Hook.
Oh,
shrunk.
yeah. You're getting into a lot of different fetishes now. So you're like, I want stink lines.
Yeah.
I want to be
It's
able
like
to put you
it's
inside
like mixing
of me.
metaphors.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even just so quiet. This tiny boy. Like, doesn't it sound like there's like a mouse hole in your house and you hear this song in there and you're like,
Hello?
what's going on in there? Oh, there's a little concert going on here. I mean, does he get fast later? Oh, I hate when they take these songs and then make them emotional and then it's like extremely incel.
Well, yeah, because when all of a sudden you're singing about, R-tarded broads. It's
saying retarded is absolutely not better.
No, it's fine. It's like you can hear the asterisks, right? It gives me no pleasure to report that Brody was 16 when she and Tim Armstrong started dating, and he was 29.
But she is Australian, right? So maybe it was like the time zone thing was working out in Tim's favor.
I think like you I think you age differently when there's Christmas every week. So in
she's actually
Australia,
150.
Exactly.
It's like how like Noah lived to 700 or whatever, and people are like, "What the fuck?" It's because he's Australian.
It's sad people don't realize that that's that the entire Old Testament was written by Australians. The Australians haven't found Christ yet, right? Like sense.
I don't know. Look, the Brody doll thing. Yeah, that's
we're not here to comment
great.
on that. Yeah, but it's just information that I wanted, and then once I had it, I felt the need to share so people can draw their own conclusions.
There you go. This next one is a whole channel on SoundCloud called BSDMCF.
Well, that's what I'm into. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? I wonder what BSDMCF stands for.
I'll tell you, but it's got to be offline.
Okay. So here's them covering whatever this song is.
Who makes up all the rules about those girls I want? Who tells them all to laugh? Who tells them all to talk about me? I'm not sure what my purpose is for being here. Why do they always kick me in the groin when I come near? And I'm not complaining, it just hurts after a bit. I don't know what I'm feeling, I'm just so sick of seeing.
Just some like Punisher folk guy.
just a bad folk, man. Yeah.
Bad person
Yes.
doing it. I hate hearing the rehearsed. It doesn't
Always
hurt. It's
kick
just like,
me in the groin. Yeah, it's
I mean,
awful.
it doesn't hurt. It's like you can just see like Beck Bennett doing that. It doesn't hurt, but
yeah, this is definitely the most Beck Bennett song in the Blink-182 discography.
It doesn't hurt, but I mean,
Wow, it turns out you do a really good Beck Bennett.
I'm doing movements as well.
You should when you eventually audition for SNL, like when that becomes your
who I write for,
your post Blink-155 career, and they make you do a celebrity impression, you should absolutely be like, yes, this is Beck Bennett.
Now this next one, I'm mad that no one showed us this, even though I know that somebody did show us this. I'm still mad about it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think people beat us over the head with it enough.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like one of those, Blink memes where everyone sends you, like, every platform. Yeah.
Yeah, like this, we got tagged in it on Facebook when they were about to release it, and then no one told me they released it. But last month, this DIY label from Eugene, Oregon called Captain Crook, their 182nd release was a compilation of Blink-182 covers.
Including guests of the pod.
Yeah, former guest of the pod, Hot Leather, a.k.a. ChordFan420, covered Eminem. So because we've already done that song, I'm going to play a little bit of his cover because it's fucking awesome. So this is at CaptainCrookRecords.bandcamp.com. I don't want to go too off topic.
No, but oh my
obviously,
god,
but
that's so good.
it sounds amazing. So yeah, fuck. Why didn't more people bug me about this? You're always bugging me about every other fucking thing under the sun.
But thank you to whoever it was who shared it that we're now giving zero credit to for being the one
Yeah.
person doing what Josiah asked.
They shared me an ad for it. It wasn't even out yet. I mean, come on. What am I supposed to? I'm supposed to write something down?
Yeah, make another untitled note.
So, anyways, right after Eminem's, someone called Lakenheath or Lakenheath. I'm not really sure it's one word. They do "Does My Breath Smell?" So let's hear that from the Captain Crook Records compilation.
I'm not complaining, it just hurts after a bit.
Look, call me a hypocrite if you want, but that one was a little bit better. Not just because it's on this cool
I
compilation.
think you're using
but
a lot of context clues here. I feel the
a
same
lot-
way, where I'm
also
like, I guess I
clicking
like
through,
it.
Clicking through to his page, he's wearing a "The World Is a Beautiful Place" t-shirt, which makes him automatically
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's
in with the pod fam.
totally. So yeah, no, it's great. I loved it.
But I did think it was nice to hear, if you're going to go serious and acoustic with it, go like full serious. Like completely no winking at all. And then it works better.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounded like some like emo revival voice.
Yeah, totally.
Hell yeah.
All right, so
Definitely a
I feel
teen
like-
from Philadelphia.
I feel like the pod gods have been shining down on us lately because I'm going to end with something again that just feels utterly depraved.
God, somehow even the fact that like we're already on the last cover is shocking to me, despite the fact that it's like well past midnight, and we still have to edit and upload the episode. But
Yeah, we're like way too late.
like,
on this,
I'm like a
but
little like you know.
There were others. I mean, we can watch more Stinkline
No,
videos
I think
if you want.
you know, quit while we're ahead.
This one I think is going to take a while to really comprehend as well.
Okay, yeah, because like aesthetically, there's just a lot happening here, and I'm not sure.
So this band is called PC-No. They're from Palm Coast, Florida. So maybe they're speaking out against living in PC. This is from their album Rise of the Shitheads, which just has like some absolutely fucked artwork. Like it's almost impossible to describe. I don't think you could do a Photoshop this bad if you wanted to.
No.
There are so many poorly extracted faces over top of the ugliest mountain scene I've ever seen. And it's just like grotesque. It's sickening.
Yeah, and it's like this is the sort of thing that is almost hard to do if you're joking. And I do think they're joking, but I'm like kind of amazed by the originality of what just looks to be a massive shitpost.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then their bio is yo, we are PC-No, the worst band ever, but the best piss punk band in the world.
Oh.
I mean, that's a great. First of all, I think these are like some suburban teens who are joking, but there probably is a genre called piss punk.
Yeah,
I would bet.
It's definitely like a Pornhub tag, but I'm not.
So perhaps I'm looking at their YouTube. They subscribe to Fat Records on here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, so this is their cover of Does My Breath Smell, but it's misspelled Dose My Breath Smell. Totally not our words. All credit goes to Blink-182. So this is 31 seconds long. We're going to listen to the whole damn thing. This is PC-No.
Okay. I mean, it was effectively a No Means No song. So, having previously gone on the record in support of No Means No, I feel like it's basically my duty to say that was excellent and now art.
I guess I like No Means No now too.
Right.
Because I liked that, but I think, I mean, now I feel like I've reached full circle and I need to start this whole episode again and do the Sclusy again because now everything's so confusing. I feel like I'm gonna start crying, but like in a joyful way, like I've had an epiphany.
Right. Yeah. You've seen something beautiful. Yeah, like it also like sort of reminded me of like Public Image Limited. Like if they had gone in until it got like kind of herky jerky there at the end. I was like, if you were to drop into like a sort of pretentious dub part here, I would 100% be like, this is definitely old Public Image Limited.
But I'm so glad that it's not any of those things that record collector Dead Tooth guys like.
Yeah.
And instead, it's just like some very shitty kids who like probably spend too much time on 4chan. And I love that those two groups can make the exact same music, but again, it just comes down to marketing.
Yeah, I believe that's horseshoe theory, right? Is the idea?
Yeah.
I think that's enough politics for this week.
This has been quite a journey.
This has been a night, and I just want to say I've had a lovely time. So what's your final thought on "Dose My Breath Smell" by PC No?
I love that. Oh, I love these songs where there's not a lot of covers because we just find these horrible crevices of the internet.
Oh yeah,
that I can't ever stop thinking about.
Yeah, we weren't just in the internet's crevices though. We got pretty deep in each other's crevices this week.
That's true.
So I guess that's my final thought. Is it's been a pleasure exploring our crevices together, and this song is like honestly insanely sick, except for the Uncharted part, which is not okay.
Welcome to Blink 155. The artist known as Wipe Your Docs Off, who I only just now found out is actually named Jacob. What's up, Jacob?
Hey, what's going on, Josiah?
Thanks for swinging by.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of hard to get here. I haven't downloaded Skype in a long time, and I luckily was able to log in the first time successfully, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Apparently, you're supposed to use Discord for this shit, but we're both Mac users, and it's very confusing to get it to record all the channels, and that's a pretty boring topic to start off this interview, but that's where we're at. I'm too old to figure out Discord.
It's for the real gamers. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a real gamer. And I thought my co-host was a PC user, and I brought that up to him, and he freaked out at me. So he's definitely a Mac user as well.
It's fair. I mean, it's the only way to go.
Yeah.
We can talk shop on tech all day.
We could. And maybe we should. Maybe this will become a tech podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, the podcast takes all kinds of forms at all times, but not lately, the entire time, I've been turning it into, much to the chagrin of at least half of our listeners, I've been turning it into sort of a low-energy meme discussion podcast. Where we just sort of, me and some people who are just like more visual kind of people, just kind of slow-paced chat memes. And I wanted to continue that because I think I've been proven right. History has proven me right in that memes are kind of the dominant narrative in culture right now.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like, not to sound, man, this is going to sound really ridiculous, but I mean, they kind of are though. I mean, it's like, I feel like it might just have to be like the tone that memes are like normally in, but you can almost kind of speak a little bit more directly on things, and kind of formulate it, I guess, a bit as a joke, but it can be like this like ridiculous cultural narrative or commentary that I feel like it's almost hard to craft without like those two things and like that setting already in place.
Damn. That was the smartest thing anyone's ever said on here.
I mean, I think it was mostly made up, but
yeah. I kind of spaced out while you were saying it, but it sounded really smart.
Yeah, I spaced out midway too.
But like, I think life is so stupid that memes are like the only way to communicate. You're right. Like everything's just so dumb that you need a meme.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like everyone just sends memes to each other now, and it's like, oh, this meme is like totally this person, or you like it's just like becoming like a way to communicate. Because I think we just don't want to write our own words anymore, and I kind of get it, you know.
For sure. But I mean, even like, I gotta say, for some reason, I think because I'm so reactionary and always trying to take the most annoying take on everything, I think that fuck Jerry is like, maybe we could be using our energy towards something more productive as a society. But I mean, that has become a huge thing that will not go away. Is like, everyone's so mad at fuck Jerry.
Yeah, I feel like, so the big thing now is that it's kind of crazy because the people that are like talking about the fuck Jerry thing are just like, I think there's someone on Twitter who was talking about it, and then it's like these like comedy celebs, I think, like Tim Heidecker, I think, made like a big post about it. And like, I can't really recall, but I think the purpose is that you should follow like the accounts that are creating the content. But I mean, Tim Heidecker doesn't follow me. So I don't know if he's really practicing what he's preaching there.
So you're saying if Tim Heidecker wants to really be a true content creator head, he needs to follow Wipey Docs Off. He needs to follow Josiah Hughes. He needs to follow Blink 155 Pod. That's the only
100%. way. I mean, he's got to be getting to like the really, really niche stuff. I mean, you think about it, it's like Human Centipede pretty much, of like where it's like going through the chain. And by the time it reaches fuck Jerry, it's disgusting. So I feel like he needs to get there really early on.
Right. And I want to get to something related to that in a second. But the thing I love to ask every memer is, how do you feel about our good friend, not a good friend, but maybe I'll get him on the pod one day. How do you feel about Insane Johnny?
So, okay, here's the thing. When I first got reposted by Insane Johnny, I was just like a person who owned like one Wolf Eyes cassette and saw them live once and was just like, oh my God, this dude's just like using people's memes to like promote his music. And then as time went on and I actually followed him, like, I kind of don't even care anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like, I laugh at so much stuff that he posts. And for the most part, like, I know who made it too already because I follow all those people. But the ones that I don't know, it's like always a great source to see it. I do know like a really funny thing now is I think he started like tagging people in the posts. And I think recently he reposted something of mine and he tagged someone else. And I think I was like, Johnny, I made this in the comments, and like that was as far as I wanted to go on that. You know what I mean?
Right. But okay, back to like the Human Centipede chain. Someone who's very, very late, I would say even later than fuck Jerry in the chain of content and memes and humor is one of the main subjects of this podcast, Mark Hoppus, who I feel like could still drop a Harambe joke at any time, and it would be like not surprising.
He totally could. I think that's very much on his radar. Maybe what he does, I feel like there's definitely some people in this world that have like maybe some sort of like crazy Twitter client where they like are just like 3 years behind on tweets. So they're seeing something that's like it's today's current date, but it's 3 years ago, and they're just reading those and they're like, wow, that's crazy.
Maybe he's his time hop
right now. Yeah, that must be what it is. They see that like Bernie Sanders is running again now, but it's like the 15 tweet or something.
Right. Oh my God, that's crazy. It works out too perfectly.
Yeah. I don't know. A little bit of like what's it called? I don't know when Bernie started like announced when he ran before, but it could line up perfectly.
So it's all just really based on the Bernie announcing he's running is like Mark Hoppus's time frame.
Yeah, it's like a loop almost.
Oh my God.
Maybe.
That could be a movie. That's really good.
It totally could.
Okay, so but we're talking not just like the memers I get on here are not just fucking memers. There's the thing I'm obsessed with is how there are extremely niche punk subcultures that are expressing themselves through memes. Whereas I'm a little bit older, and when I grew up, everyone who was a punk was like completely painfully serious and would never laugh at punk. But now it's like it's a thing where you can kind of make a joke that you know only 100 people are going to get, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's working, and it's awesome. So tell me a little bit about like your sense of humor, who you are, like what you're into in terms of music and stuff, and how you arrived at like making niche punk memes.
Yeah, totally. I mean, okay, so a little bit of context. I went to school in Gainesville, Florida. Shout out against me. And we had like a pretty cool little punk scene there, I guess, like when I was like going to school there. I think it's probably still going on today, but I kind of was always just kind of like the lamest person at every show. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like so many people like look at my Instagram or something and think that I'm like some sort of cool person or something. It's just absolutely not the case. Like, I was definitely the lamest person at every show in Gainesville, Florida.
Was it like, cause my co-host is like a big time Florida kind of guy and I'm not at all, but so was it like fest type things, like gravel voice ass bands?
Oh yeah. I mean, so I would say that like most of the local bands were not very like fest oriented, but they would play fest, but they would be like the ones who would be early in like the smaller venues. But it definitely, there was a mix because there's like the very bro-y stuff that was going on. And there was still like the stuff that like still thought that like Minor Threat was like going to show up and play a set. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of stuff that was curated. There's this guy who used to run this record store in Gainesville. I think he doesn't run it anymore, called Arrow Zane, which a lot of like the festers would go to. And I think he kind of like still had that like very like old school hardcore aesthetic kind of toward a lot of like the stuff that he would like put on shows with and stuff like that. And I think so there was like an interesting mix, I guess, between like the fest culture, which was fun to go to, but not really my favorite stuff to listen to.
Right.
And like the other stuff that went on in Gainesville. But I mean, I'd also say I definitely make a lot of jokes about like punk and sometimes like metal and stuff like that. But I'm like a good bit older now, I guess, than when I was in college. So I don't really like go to shows as much anymore, especially like not like that kind of music. I mostly just go to like see friends play or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's still kind of like, it's a way to engage with music that seems to be like taking over in terms of like, I feel like Consequence of Sound posts memes all the time and stuff.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think, I remember at one point, I know like I got a message from like Reverb or something, and they were like, wow, we love that meme where you mentioned Reverb in your meme. And I was like, thanks guys. I sold a DJ controller on Reverb once. But it's so weird because there's like a lot of things where like, I think a lot of music pages, and I've seen also like, Grail, to that like fashion website, posts a lot of like fake Easy Boost memes.
Right.
So like all these like newer hip things are using memes as like a way to communicate. And I always think it's really funny when someone like thinks that way about my memes, because they're mostly me just making fun of myself or like things that I used to like and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so but what was your like, so you sort of mentioned it a little bit, but what was your kind of musical upbringing? And how did you get to whatever your taste is now?
When I was, okay, so I can start kind of early. So when I really started getting into music was kind of in middle school. I remember, so I grew up originally in Alabama, and we used to be really close to this Auburn University radio station called Tiger Radio. And they would play like a bunch of like 90s and 2000s alternative. And that was kind of like my first real intro into like music that I thought kind of like sounded cool. And I remember I got like, in middle school, I got like a Creed CD that I thought was super good from my dad. And
Sick.
I got a Seether CD from FYE, which was super sick as well. And then I actually eventually, the third CD I got was Blink-182's Greatest Hits.
Ooh, that's a tonal shift.
It totally was. I mean, I feel like there was like a lot of like, I got like a bunch of different stuff that all my friends thought were kind of cool, and I like ended up liking pretty much all of it. It was like a little bit of my dad, a little bit of my friends, and then just kind of like the blend in between. I think when you think about it, Cedar's kind of the midpoint between Creed and Blink-182.
I think you could be right. Yeah.
So I think you can see the shift. But so I was like very much when I was in middle school, I just had this CD player, so I would just listen to like the same like 6 CDs, and then I had like some friends who also liked that particular CD, but like their parents bought them an iPod or something, so they had a lot more. But we could talk about those, and that was kind of cool. And then when I was in high school, I like kind of got a little bit more into punk, but it was mostly pop punk because I was living in Ocala, Florida, which is the land of A Day to Remember.
Oh yeah.
If you're familiar. Yeah, so I had like this slight pop punk phase, and then decided for a while I was like really into like rap music, but like Aesop Rock kind of stuff.
Oh hell yeah, of course.
And
you're like, it's not about hoes and bitches. It's still about those things, but just a little bit more
it's
verbose.
about the mind
the hoes and bitches of the mind.
Exactly. It's about having a thesaurus app on your iPod Touch. And so I went from there, and then I think in like 2007 or 6 I kind of started getting into like indie rock, and then also got into kind of like some older school punk. And I remember like telling my dad about it. My dad was like a big, and so was my mom. They were like both big punks in like the 80s. Like my mom always talks about going to like these like loft shows where like a bunch of like, I think she said she saw like the Butthole Surfers and Meat Puppets at her like friend's house or something.
Oh my God.
And I was like, damn, that's so cool. So I kind of just wanted to be my parents for a little bit, and then got into like a super big local music scene phase, I guess, in Gainesville, and then also in Boston. Because I lived there for a year after college, and then pretty much moved to New York and have decided I'm swearing off the guitar for 2019.
Damn, that's a big move.
Not listening to guitar. I mean, actually, re-listening to Cheshire Cat just in preparation for the pod was the only time I've been listening to guitar this year.
That's a great entry point back into the guitar. Okay, but along the way, you must have rejected Blink-182 at some point. We all have our time in the desert where we think we're too cool for it. Did that happen to you?
Oh, totally. So I had a roommate in college who was actually, and also like one of my best friends who like I still hang out with today a bunch. He lives in Philadelphia, but they both like had this big Blink-182 like fandom. And actually at the time, the only thing that I had really listened to in college was the Greatest Hits album, which is kind of funny.
Right.
So I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, they have like some hits, but I've never liked a Blink-182 album. And of course I never listened to an actual Blink-182 album. And so like I remember like rejecting Blink-182 for quite some time, and really rejecting any sort of pop punk as being any real music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of realized I was like a good bit foolish once I graduated college, because then like Blink-182 kind of became just like comfort music. You know what I mean? And that's when I started listening to like all the older ones. Like Carousel was my favorite song. I think it wasn't I don't know if it's on the Greatest Hits. It should be.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I'm totally, and I always loved that song so much. So I was like, I should go back to like the old Blink-182 and listen to it. So then like with that rejection phase, I guess, in college, I eventually realized that I actually do think older Blink-182 and really like most Blink-182 has like there's something there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously I think that, but I also am curious, and I've asked every memer this, and we've gone into painstaking detail with this in our bonus episodes with Miles. With pre-Miles, everyone check out patreon.com/Blink155 for the real fucking, the meme mask off discussion is in there. But what I want to know is like, is our podcast partly popular because Blink-182 is just a meme right now? And people are just like, because it seems like you can just say Blink-182 and people laugh or retweet it. Like I could probably just tweet Blink-182 right now and someone would retweet it.
I feel like Blink-182 is probably always going to be a meme, but only because it's like so relatable. Like everybody knows a Blink-182 song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's instantly that frame of reference. And I mean, I know there's like a good bit of jokes because like there's like, I remember that one Blink-182 song off of, I think that one with the dog on the face that had like that guy rapping on it. And that song was super corny.
The Yellow Wolf song.
And yes. And I think that swapped a lot of frames of references. Like I remember being in my friend's like shitty car in college and like that, I think that it was an EP, right? It wasn't an album.
Yeah.
I think it came out. And I remember like I was in like my peak Death Grips phase or something at that point. So I was like already just like, because I had been browsing like the music board on 4chan and listening to Anthony Fantana reviews at that point.
Right.
So I was like completely jaded. And I remember hearing that song in the car and be like, wow, that's like hilariously bad. So I feel like everyone just has this like, I don't know, this like frame of reference of like a point where they like listened to a Blink-182 song and they were like, oh, this is either like bad or this is funny. And I think like Blink-182 always had like a bit of comedy in their music anyway. So I think it lends itself well to like being the butt of the joke a little bit. You know?
True. So I hope that means that it does stick around forever and that it doesn't become like Tide Pods or something where people don't want to hear about it ever again.
Absolutely not. I think it's timeless. I think it definitely is. I mean, I feel like I've seen Blink-182 memes like for years. You know?
It's true. It's true. For better or worse. I mean, you can literally just put like a picture of Tom DeLonge saying my yed. He literally did that today. He just tweeted my yed hurts and it like went crazy. Like even Blink-182 is memeing themselves now.
That's incredible. I support it, to be honest.
I guess if anyone should be memeing it, it's them. How do you feel about Matt Skiba being in the band now?
I'm like kind of okay with it. I mean, I used to be a pretty big fan. What the hell is that band called? It's Alkaline Trio, right?
Yeah.
I liked Alkaline Trio at one point. I can definitely remember being an Alkaline Trio fan. So I feel like I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. I was never into them, but I don't know. I mean, it's given me something to talk about on here, so that's good. All right, let's talk about Does My Breath Smell? I like when I asked you if you want to do this song, you were like, I love Daniel Johnston, which is great. I feel like we gotta do a good Photoshop with that, I think.
The beginning of the song, it's not even that it's like specifically Daniel Johnston, but it's just like there's just like it's super stripped out and it's like just like he's like kind of warbling a little bit, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is setting us up for success. But yeah, I mean, a couple of thoughts on this song right away. There's definitely the Daniel Johnston beginning. It definitely has some possible like red pill starting points, you know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like,
yeah, for sure.
It's definitely not fully red pilled, but it's like it's thinking about it a bit.
I think Blink-182 is not smart enough to ever be red pilled, but they're definitely like sending people down that journey. And this has been our debate since the very first episode when we talked about Dumpweed, which is that maybe they were being sarcastic in Dumpweed when they sing I Need a Girl That I Can Train, but the 12-year-old boys who are listening to that don't know that they're being sarcastic when they memorize these lyrics. And so I think it could send people down this like dark path.
I always just kind of like, because of just like the nature and like especially like with like the albums where they have like those ridiculous skits and stuff, I've always thought that Blink-182 is like kind of half joking a little bit. Like I feel like they're like talking about what they want to talk about, but there's like a humorous bit to it a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So I'd like to think that if anything, they're just making red pill jokes like anyone would on Twitter.
Right. I mean, that's such a generous read, but I'm happy that you're that optimistic that you think that in 1994 or whatever, someone was like, I'm being ironically detached.
I'd like to, you know what? I try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
You're a much kinder person than I am.
Also, I can't have Blink-182 become a fully red pilled band and it be confirmed, because my favorite thing to do is to go to like, when there's a bar doing a karaoke night, and I'll like do a Blink-182 song in karaoke, but I do both Mark and Tom's parts. as one
Whoa,
person and do
sick.
like impressions of them. It's super fun.
Oh my God, I would love to hear that.
I don't know if I'm ready to do. I need to get primed a bit.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, I can't have them be canceled anytime soon.
Right. I think they'll be fine. I think it's more Travis we got to worry about. He fucking loves Adam 22 and all that shit. So, but I mean, we're talking Scott era right now, and true heads know that Scott is the real drummer of Blink-182.
The people do. I mean, I've sworn off Travis. I don't even. What's his last name? Barker.
Barker.
I don't even remember anymore.
Right. Okay.
Forgot about that guy early.
Hell yeah. Exactly. Because he fucking loves Adam 22. Like, get out of here with that shit.
Yeah, that's just not a very good look at all. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that still.
You don't need to read the B9 board screenshots to know that Adam 22 is corny and bad from a starting point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you shouldn't need the receipts for that.
I think hilariously, as far like, I don't want to go down an Adam 22 hole, but I've only listened to one episode of No Jumper, and I think it was like 2 years ago. And Versace Tamagotchi was on it. And it was before I think I made my meme account. But I was like, damn, I think memes are funny. And I think Versace Tamagotchi is funny. So I guess I'll check this out. And I was like, wow, this guy who's talking this sucks. Like, just is a terrible person. And I was like, I don't know if I can stomach this whole thing.
Damn, so you almost were prevented from joining the meme game from that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I did have worries. Like, what if I got super big and I had to talk to Adam 22?
Yeah. I mean, Travis Barker loves Adam 22. He goes on Joe Rogan. I mean, that's not good. It's not a good look.
It's not a great look. It is important to realize that Joe Rogan is an intellectual, though, unlike Adam 22.
That is true. But I guess we just, here at Blink-155, we have the humility that we don't need to seem intellectual. And that's why we're the superior podcast.
I think that's the best way to be. Despite anything I've said previously.
Okay, so you think that the song is giving you some Red Pill vibes?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so specifically, I definitely think that the person who is being spoken of, or the people in general, that have rejected Mark and Tom are definitely Stacey's. Would you not say?
Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, this is definitely... I mean, we could give Tom even more credit and say that he's writing it from the perspective of a character, and he's not necessarily the one singing it, but it's a character. It's like a Pedro the Lion song or something. So perhaps it's written from the point of view of a Chad, actually.
I mean, we'd like to think that. And I mean, like I said, with the optimism that I try to bring to the table, I would say that could very much be the case. This could actually be like the frame for that Law and Order episode about incels. This is like the super proto script.
Oh, God.
It's hard to say. But yeah, I mean, it pretty much is just, it's a song where it's about pretty much always getting to the point where he's at the girl's door, but he just doesn't know what to do next. And then it just doesn't work out. Pretty much, correct?
I think so, yeah.
I'm trying to check because, there weren't a lot of genius annotations on this, so I couldn't really form an opinion beforehand.
Right. I like to go to the I'm on songmeanings.com where you can get the real annotations.
That one's been around for a while, too.
Yeah, it's usually like this is from 2002. Someone named Doug Branches is saying, you get the girl to her door after a date and you wonder whether you kiss her or not. When you finally decide to go for it, you crash and burn and look like an ass in the process. That's this song.
It's insane. It's a coming-of-age film when you think about it, but in song form.
Yeah, I guess...
I feel like there's...
Using Doug Branch's annotation, I do feel like there is sort of this sense of, like, I'm a loser. That does redeem it truthfully, where it's not like I'm owed this. It's like I'm too much of a loser to get this, maybe.
Yeah, totally. I feel like there might be a level of self-awareness. I feel like it's like the red pill thing's very like top of mind, but it's very much just like, oh damn, I don't know what to do in this situation. I mean, keep ending up here. It's like Groundhog Day.
It's true, but then again, he does, and we did have a precursor about if we would say it or not, but I think I should say it just once. Maybe I'll even edit it out if it's too harsh, but he literally does say all those dumb, lame, and retarded broads. I mean, that is a fucking, that's like, there's kind of no two ways about that lyric.
It's hard to skirt around it, but maybe he was like being ironic, like on Come Town.
Right, yeah, he's like, he's being one of those ironic leftists that you, I don't know.
Exactly.
I've gotten DMs before for people being like, wait, you follow those people on Twitter? And I'm like, I'm sorry. They're funny sometimes. I'm just trying to fit in on Twitter.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Adam definitely makes me laugh. Stav definitely makes me laugh on Twitter. I'm not going to not follow them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, RTs are not endorsements. That's the ultimate journalist creed.
I'm ready to like edit my Twitter bio at this point to be like, my retweets are not endorsements. All my thoughts are my own and do not reflect my employer.
Right.
And that's the whole bio.
How do you feel about something I really loved revisiting this song today is the classic quiet intro with a house party din behind it of them talking.
It's honestly so good because it makes you kind of feel like in my opinion, it makes you feel like Tom's just like sitting at a party. He's telling this story a little bit, and then he has like another drink, and then he gets really into it.
Right. And maybe at that point, everyone stopped talking because they're like, "Oh my god, this guy's for real an incel." Yeah. Like he was just like starting this story, and we were like, "Okay, we'll humor him." And then he said all this shit about broads, and we're like, "Okay, never mind. This is fucked."
Yeah, it definitely could go that way though, because you're like, okay, yeah, no, I get what you mean, and then you're like, oh, wait a second, oh, really? Okay,
hold up, why am I friends with this guy?
Yeah.
I think also I just love these old songs because I've said this before so many times, but this could be like a K Records band or something. Like it sounds so shitty and sloppy.
100%. Yeah. I could see these guys opening with Beat Happening.
Yeah, right? I mean, like if Calvin Johnson was on one of these songs, it would make perfect sense.
It definitely would. And I think that's like why these albums kind of became like this and Dude Ranch, but especially Cheshire Cat. It was like definitely that point where I was like into K Records stuff. And I was just like, wow, you know what? You never knew Blink-182 pretty much came up with this lo-fi masterpiece such a long time ago.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? I mean, even on their first demo tape, they covered Dinosaur Jr. And it's like, that's like a really funny thing to see as you get older too, is how like all those cool indie rock guys back then would have fucking hated Blink-182, but they're all the same, man. We're all just the same.
100%. I feel like we both, I mean, I think this is something I never could see clearly when I was like, when I was like in college or something, you know, I would have been like, oh no, it's like, there's like a clear distinction between this and this. But now it's just like, I think you get older and you're just like, everything's actually pretty good, you know? There's some good music everywhere.
I think also,
and Blink-182 was rocking early.
I think that's also something that memes really does help with, where you're like, actually everything is pretty funny also. And that's why, like,
totally.
I grew up reading Mad Magazine. It's a huge part of my my personage. Is that's like that defined me, and that was like they'd make fun of good things all the time too. And that's the other thing that I know happens to Miles a lot. Does this happen to you, where people are like, "Oh, so you hate this thing now just because you're like joking about it?"
Oh yeah, like 100%. I mean, and to be honest, there's very few things, unless it's like something that's just like generally like terrible in some way that I'm making fun of, like not someone's art or something. I really don't think it's bad. I like most of the stuff I make fun of. Like yesterday, I think I posted that picture of like the Nails Joy Division and Bathory t-shirt. Right. And I was like, at one point in my life, I loved every last one of those bands. So there's nothing there that's like any actual shade. But there's also like a big thing now to where it's like, now that the account's grown, I'm just like, I've been kind of trying to tone it back a little bit so people don't think I just hate everything, because I like get like bigger people following me and like musicians and stuff. And I'm like, I just want to let you guys know I actually like music. I think it's great. I don't want you to think I hate it. It's such a big part of my life that it's like the only thing I feel like I can make jokes about sometimes.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's so good. Well, I hope that eventually Tom or Mark or someone follows you, because Mark's not going to, because he's, as we've established, he reads the internet through Time Hop. and that's why
Yes,
he's so
that's very
behind.
true. So in like 2 years, he might follow me when I've given up. You know?
Right, when you've sold your account to Momus or whatever.
I'm pretty excited for it, to be honest.
So, yeah, we've had all the memers on the show. If anyone's in New York City, which I know some listeners are, fucking, I'm podding here, is what you say while you listen, while you walk down the street.
Yeah, that's very true.
But a bunch of the memers that have been on the show before are all participating in a meme art show soon, right?
That's true. Yeah, we're doing me and Jeff, who's Control, who's been on the show before. We're throwing this big meme party thing at the Woods in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, March 28th. And it's from like 9 to whenever the bar closes, or they decide that they don't want to show our memes anymore.
Sick. And also Pre-Miles is going to be there, and he's going to get beat up for talking shit on Blink-155, so that's cool. Also.
Yeah, 3 Miles will be there. Sunny's going to be there. There's a bunch more people. I'm trying to think of all of them, but those are the ones that have been on the pod. There's at least
This is like
4
basically a
people now that
pod
have been on the
endorsed
pod.
event. Yeah.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, did the sponsorship come through? You guys sponsoring or no?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk off mic about the
Sounds good.
So, I mean, yeah, I feel like I can't afford meme clout at this point. We don't make that much money. It seems like an
Yeah, I don't
expensive
think
game you guys are playing here.
It's very pricey. You know what I mean? No, but oh wait, go ahead.
Oh no. What are you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's our second time doing it. The last one was super fun, and so I'm like pretty excited to do another one.
Sick. So okay, I'll link to there's a very, very good poster with a lot of great fake band logos on it. Love it.
Yeah, that was made by Jin Kazama.
Oh, sick. I noticed that you've ripped off the Five Iron Frenzy logo with yours as well, so that's cool.
Mine was actually Eminem.
No, it's Five Iron Frenzy. Anyways.
Oh, wait, there was that tweet about the Five Iron
Yeah, we were joking about that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to plug before I let you go?
I guess, like, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to. It's Wipeyadoxoff, which is probably already in the podcast description or whatever. But I had this really funny idea for a podcast that I'm thinking about starting at some point. So if you follow those accounts, you could hear more about that soon.
Oh, really? Well, I want to know. Is it a secret?
Okay. I feel like I should just announce it now because we're like really, really planning on doing it. And it actually has Jeff Control, who was on an episode of Blink-155. The podcast is called We Got Joe on the Show, as in Joe Rogan.
What?
And the truth is that the entire idea behind the podcast is that we either hope we're going to get Joe Rogan on the show, or we have someone on the show that we ask to pretend to be Joe Rogan or not.
Oh my gosh. I think that'll be the first time I listen to a full Joe Rogan episode.
I think it's going to be good. Joe Rogan's not going to actually be on the show at all.
Maybe he will.
Ever. And
you don't know that.
I think what I'm hoping is that he just sends us a cease and desist so we can change the name of the podcast. So we got a cease and desist from Joe Rogan.
Very good. Finally, I wanted to ask you, where did Wipe Your Docs Off come from?
So there is this hilariously, there's like this meme that is like this picture of Jesus wearing Timberlands, and it says "Wipe your Tims off," and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I was like, what if it's "Wipe your Docs off," because everyone wears Doc Martens. So I just decided to make that as the name, and then now it's just gone so long I can't change it.
It's so good. Sick. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, Josiah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good luck at the Warped Tour. I'm looking at the poster and it's making me think of Warped Tour.
It's very much trying to channel the vibe.